Right. So if you watched the video, or even if you didn't, I'll just recapture everything what I said in that one. So what I talked about was one from the level perspective on Thursday, when the market was dropping after the um, attack from Israel. We talked about this level, right? 49.20, 49.25, and we saw a big bounce coming from this level. Since the action was all after hours and in the global section session, what I talked in the on Friday was that there is a now a disconnect between SPX and the ES or the US 500 chart, which is where SPX stopped right here at 5,000, and this whole leg is missing, right? So the reason on Friday I said, let's close the calls first in the morning was because I expected that this rally overnight for 80, 90 points, it's not going to continue straightforward, right? And it should dip. And this dip for SPX should be a continuation of where it stopped on Thursday, right? Somewhere here, right? And that's what happened. US 500 retraced about 61%, and that became a continuation leg for SPX, right? And it kind of brought SPX to another level where we have a very good demand zone here, um, right here, and the bounce was just right by the test of it, right? So it just bounced right from here from 4946 and closed above 4966, tested 4970 and all that. So a good bounce. Now if you see both, like I shared, US 500 bounced from an overnight level here, and SPX used a level above, which was this one, right, the next day. So both holding at a critical levels, and as long as 4945 is holding, and I think that's what I said in my Substack as well, then we are looking at a retracement back to 5051. And this is my SPX chart where the move is about 80 points roughly. And if you see what US 500 will do comparatively would be making a C leg up. So if I just mark this as an A, B, and this one will become just a C leg, right? And this one was one impulse move, and this is second impulse move, basically doing a zigzag move up to make a whole wave as a fourth wave. So that's a current assumption, and we do have a supply right here, right? And given that zone probably will resist, we'll see what happens once we get there. And this is where we can take a short, where there could be another drop back to the same zone, maybe test 4900. So that's the current thought that I have, that this wave is not completed yet. If this was 1 2, then we are looking at this ending at the supply zone, right, which is right at the 100%, where C becomes equal to the A leg, right? And if there is a change of thought there, I can go there and twist it a little. But first understand the A equals to C. If some folks don't, what I'm looking at is an extension, and the A equals to C means that my this leg retraced back to here, my extension is just 100%, right? So which means these two legs are the same, like the length of this leg and the length of this leg from the bottom is kind of the same, right? So that is what I mean from A equals to C, right? So that's a zigzag kind of playing, which where it does A equals to C. I mean, though it can go up and a little lower as well, but A equals to C is a quite a often seen zigzag movement, and the right heading into the supply gives you more confidence that, hey, okay, there is a lot of distribution that happened here, right, in this whole section, and it's just right testing this whole zone again, right? So this is 100%. And when I'm saying that right now, I'm considering that this was in A, B, C, and a B, and then this whole big is an impulse. That's one way of looking at it. But what if this is wrong? And really, the wave 1 and 2 kind of started here, and just numbering them again. And this was an complete A, B, and this becomes a C, right? If this becomes a C, which means my third wave probably ended somewhere here. This was fourth, and this was the fifth one. This is a completion of one ABC complete, right? If that would be the case, then my bounce will be sharper. It will be probably going above this zone. That's what we need to see, that do we get a breakout. So it's not that once we get to 50-50 we are gonna say, okay, let's blindly short it, right? We'll probably look into some bear flag formation here. That okay, if this is my movement, okay, how did I move here? Am I rejecting this? If I'm rejecting this, am I getting below 5k again, right? Because if this has to make a impulse movement, it can only retrace too much. So between two different paths, once we get here, it needs to be something like this one. It won't be 100%, it will be more, right? And the dip should not go below this. Basically, if it goes below this, then of course any bounce needs to be shorted on, and if it goes below this, we are shorting it, something like that, right? So that is how we will kind of validate that if this wave 4 is going to end, or this is going to go further from 100% and it's actually completed the whole correction, and we are looking at maybe 101,618, which is 5100, getting into another supply, for which the path will look like something like this, right? So different ways it can unravel, and my guess is that this will get tied to one of the earnings. May not be Tesla, could be, let's see what's coming on Wednesday. Let me check. Let's see. So on Wednesday we have Meta, right? So yeah, we'll have to see which one really, where it ends by Tuesday. Is it like just a Monday move where we, go up 80 points, or is it gonna get up to Tuesday? How the Tesla earning is gonna, play into all this? Because I don't have high hopes on Tesla this time again, given how the chart is looking and the demand is even broken. So maybe there could be a dead cat bounce, but not really a high hopes honestly on Tesla. So we'll see, right? But so far our target is to get to 50-50, and we'll see what happens after that, right? And that's why we took the calls. Now to get to 50-50, I mean, we have got all night, right? And the way this move happened, probably, we'll see a move similar like this, getting up there. But that's what I'm really expecting as of now from SPX and US 500 chart perspective, right? Um, Getting into QQQ, or I'll just want to show you something first here. From the level perspective, again, a great level where the bounce should come. It didn't bounce on Friday, but again, a point where I can expect that, okay, after the break of this critical level of 425, 420 didn't do, 416 didn't do anything. We are here, and it should generate a bounce. And if I look into NQ, I mean, I see that, again, from the similar demand area, a bounce has already started. There is some good divergence which has started happening already on 4 hours time frame. And if there is nothing, crazy sell off or something, then getting back to this top makes sense, which kind of aligns with what I just shared about SPX, right? Again, whether this whole wave completed and we are counting it wrong, it'll just show up once we get to 50-50 and this area and QQQ 425. We can figure it out, how things are moving along, whether it's going to be a start of the next or this is just going to continue into it, right? That's QQQ. And looking at DIA, again, there was a very nice bounce here just from the demand zone. has this completed 5 waves, or this is also gonna do the similar thing again? It'll all depends on what happens at 383, 383.61. If it crosses it, then the wave is almost over. Otherwise, we'll see one more sell. So pretty much again aligned to what we see in other two charts, and IWM is no different either. Right, again, very critical point from where it started bouncing. Here is a lot of demand zones here, demand zones here, demand zones here, right? So a lot of zones down here. It's kind of stopped at 200% extension. The expectation of the bounce is it gets to 196, probably a little bit above, like here, like 198ish area, and then come back down to 190. That's where I said that I will be more comfortable buying calls at 190 because of this whole zone from where the multiple bounces has happened, and use this demand as the this demand and this demand as the area for reference, and then we can see a B wave bounce into the next month. Okay, let me mute. Okay. Here we go. So, okay. All right. So yeah. So that's IWM. And any question on all this? No. Okay. All right. From VIX, again, very similar expectation that as we go to that 50-50 mark, we see a drop coming back to around this area, 1660, a little bit below 1630 maybe. Maintaining this trend line, that gives another bounce. That could be the fifth leg sell-off, or could be a wave two sell-off if the other scenario is in the play. And we see a nice divergence setting up here as it moved up. So drop, come to the support, and another bounce, and then finally we break it to start coming down, right? So that's gonna be what we would expect from VIX. We have got some VIX put for 15 for May 17, but once it comes here around 1630, we'll see how they'll look, and if we want to roll over by a couple of weeks and buy some more time, we'll think about that. Just from safety standpoint. So that's VIX, and yeah, US 500 continues to rally. Hope we see a nice move up, maybe 5,000 or so by the time cash opens, and then we rally all day, right? So that's would be that something which I am expecting for now. Right. What else we want to talk about? We can get into Bitcoin a little bit, or do you want to look into Mag 7 stocks? Let's talk about something about Mag 7 stocks here. Tesla. So earnings on Tuesday. What I see here is that we are doing a complex correction. Why complex? Because this first move was a WXY. ABC, not an impulse move. Unless I start counting this as another diagonal, but I really don't think there was any diagonal play in there. It was simply an ABC, a W. These are two impulse moves, which makes it the first zigzag. Then we are doing basically a second zigzag here, where this was one impulse leg, we moved up for B, and there is a third impulse which is going down, which means by the time this is over, we will be somewhere around either 116 or 115. That's kind of my current assumption for Tesla. We wanted it to support this 152 zone to just do a bounce, maybe another B bounce for 200, 220, and then sell off. But it did not even bounce really big for this B wave. This B wave was like pretty small. Maybe not even 38% if I see yeah, exactly 38%, right? So it was a 38% bounce, and it went down. So my expectation was that okay, maybe we'll be doing a triple zigzag where this is another one as a zigzag. We move for a B, come to this area, and then we do another zigzag as a triple combo. Something which I have shared before happens like here. If we go to EW battle cards, like this, basically a triple combo, right? So one zigzag, second zigzag, third zigzag, right? So that was my expectation, but it looks like it's just rushing. It's just a second zigzag. Will it go, even further down? I don't know yet. We'll see. But this is where the last bounce happened. If this goes for some reason, even if there is a bounce and the bounce is again not very impulsive, then we are looking at somewhere around this area for Tesla to come. And if you see, I've marked it this as still as a wave 4, just clearing up some of these markings just to look at the price clearly, right? We are looking at this wave to come, how much? So 106 would be 38%, which is what it tested before. Could double bottom, start moving up, but I don't know if, it has a very good news right now to just immediately start moving up to go 4x from here. We know that the robotaxi stuff is coming in August, but so far what I'm hearing is demand is low for the cars, and there is a decline in pricing for most of the models, and that continues. So we'll see what happens in the earnings. What does he come up with? But again, given the trend, I think probably somewhere later at the end of the year, 70-65 is a good area, right? If you are a long-term believer in Tesla, that's where I would like to buy, or maybe start at 109, 106, and if you get another dip to 70, just DCA it. That's kind of a very long-term perspective on Tesla, right? And we'll have to see how this works out. Cool. All right. So then next is Meta coming up for the earnings, and again, the expectation is that this whole move, it started from like 87 to 6x the stock at 533. This will come to an end at certain point of time, and there will be a correction. It's not that it's going to just keep going up, but right now how it was marked was that you have 1/5 leg remaining up top, and we are just doing a wave 4 correction right now. And in that wave 4 correction, we are looking at somewhere around this, which was the previous earning gap to hold 451. It just stopped at 475 for now, but by the time earning is complete, I think it should complete this wave 4. So we'll have to see where it stands on Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon, if it has dipped a little bit more or just consolidated above here, making 3 and 4, and there'll be just one push down during the earning, then the next wave would start. So we'll have to figure that out where it goes from there. I don't expect this gap to close. This gap to if it gets into this gap, that's more bearish. That means that this whole wave is complete, and we are looking at some larger term downtrend starting from here. So something to very carefully watch for, right? So if it dips here, then we are looking at, let's say if it comes here, then we are looking at this doing something like this to correct this partially, maybe even lower, like something like this. But yeah, this is a huge correction after that. If earning really brings it down into start to close this gap, which let's see if that happens. That's Meta. Similar thought for MSFT. We talked about a couple of models for this one. 397 was our 397, 398 was primary our consideration that okay, we are doing this wave 3, wave 4, and it should move into wave 5. But if this drops from 397, then we are looking at 376 and 363 from where, like I said, for Meta, the last wave could start. But if this also gives up this particular area, that means we are done. We are done. There will be no new highs on indexes or on these stocks, and then we are looking at coming down back to 308 or something like that. So very critical earnings for all of this, right? And the price movement to watch for that. Are we breaking all these trends? Will there be any more wave five, or this is just done? By the way, this is three and four of this one. This was one, two, three, four, and five. That's what we were looking at before. This one. But like I said, if it goes below and we see 377 and below, that means that the top is in. And what we are looking at is any bounce that we get post that is short, can be shorted, and this will come down back to 308 by the end of the year. Right, so that's MSFT. Google, we have been waiting for this dip, which I think should come. Now, whether it comes before Thursday or this hangs around here in this area, and the earnings, bring it down back to 145. 145 is the area where I would like to buy. But again, my line in the sand is about 142. If it starts dipping 142, the top will be in for Google as well. But if it holds, we are looking at the next move up. That's Google. Nvidia. Again, third and fourth wave consideration here too. Looking at this overall trend to hold. Some move up and then probably a move down, like I explained for QQQ and in the other indexes. So that should follow. The expectation was that this is the way one, two, we have this three, four, and this is where the five will go. But if 647 is gone, then I wouldn't be waiting for any more wave five, and we are looking at the correction to come somewhere in this area over the period of time, and that'll be like you come here first, bounce, and then right. So that's Nvidia and the Amazon. Again, a fourth wave consideration aligned to what I've been saying for QQQ. Another pop, go to 423, 425 for QQQ. This comes here around 180, 81, sells off again to 166 and start the fifth wave. Very similar considerations again. If this the support starts breaking at any point of time, 165, the top is in. Any questions from anybody? Okay, all right. What we did not cover? Did we cover everything? Oh, so yeah. So Apple again. The support did not hold. This impulse wave which happened did not hold, which means this was a wave four again. We had a flat correction here, A, B, and C. And now we are looking at a fifth leg down. So it has already sold off quite a bit. Want a bounce back here? I have one starter call or small set sitting there. I think maybe three or four calls. I don't remember how many I bought. I need to just kind of wrap them up and then wait for 156 area. I think that's a good area. Yeah, 156. To see how it goes there, and probably then look at buying buying that there. But so far, the downtrend continues on this one. Yeah, nothing changed after this bound happened. This was a fake breakout. The supply came into the play 178. That target was met. The, the target was met, and then we saw a sell off to 156. Dave, you have a question? No. Okay. All right. So that's Apple. as you saw that some correction aspect is there, and those are the critical levels, right? And I'll mark that in the chart, tomorrow when I move, when I post the pre-market chart mostly. But those are the things to remember in the next coming days, right? That if these levels are not holding, then the top is in for most of them, and then we are looking at 4 to 5 months of correction. Because taking an example of let's say MSFT, for it to get to 308, it's gonna be a lot of time taken, right? So um, yeah, so let's say the top is in for an argument's sake, and we are saying, oh, maybe 3 4 was done here, and this is the fifth wave which happened, and now we are heading down, which means we are doing the first wave down, and we are looking at something like this for wave one, and then it's going to be wave two, or an ABC, whatever structure that it makes. But generally, this impulse wave should be, corrected within a zigzag pattern again. Then we are looking at something like this as one, and then we go up again, somewhere around this area, and come down, right? So a lot of time will be spent, almost the rest of the year, in the corrective moves, right? If the top is in, I mean, it was supposed it is going to be in. I mean, if it bounce here and make this another leg that we were looking at, that we are going to get to somewhere around 450 for 450 460, this was going to happen again anyway, that we will have this correction because it was completing the 5 waves. But is it already started? Something which we will get to know, I think, in a week or so after the earnings are done. If they are holding the critical levels, we go up once more. If we don't, then yeah, the correction is on for the next 4 5 months. And the strategy will be again shorting any rip to certain specific retracement levels. So based on if we are looking at 2 or 4 or whichever retracement we think it is, then we'll have to think about our plans based on that, and then play the wave B bounce up here, then look at the C sharps again, right? So that would be the play. That's Mag 7. And oh yeah, another thing that I noticed was this, which kind of made me a little bit nervous, which was XLK. Nervous in the sense that, you know, that this dip, uh, which happened, it already entered into kind of wave one territory. So my assumption is that, XLK is doing a little larger four correction here. Right. That's how I marked it here. And though this aligns with the, most of the indexes which I shared before, that I don't think that the correction is like concluded here. If I just take SPX for an example, this is what I'm looking at there as well, right? In ABC as a primary correction pattern, and this is what I'm assuming right now. Looking at the overall XLK as well, right? So a dip was sharper. That was not a sub four, but a main four, and this will just probably bounce from this area where it is right now, and we'll see another big dip later, probably in mid-May, or maybe earlier in the May, right after the bounce. And this bounce is somewhere where I'm considering we will have a test of 5175 on SPX, right? So that's where this bounce is. Um, so that was an interesting thing when I was looking at the sectors today. Well, that's all about the stocks and the indexes. And looking at Bitcoin, we had this very nice rally after the Thursday's dip, and so far it's just been holding on the topmost side of this move, where, though I think that this is still a very B move thing, kind of a structure. So if this was my wave one, I think the wave two should happen here. I don't know if you were following my chat in the crypto channel, but this looks like an A, B, and probably a C to happen, right? So once we get here, we will probably should be looking at adding more, either coin or FBTC or whatever we like, right? So, but the idea is that this is wave one, and we'll have a wave two, and a three, and a four, and a five, and probably based on how far my wave three goes, we are looking at somewhere around 80K as a minimum, and if my wave three is you know um, extending, let's see the levels here. If this was wave one, yeah, that's already extended what I put there, so it's 160, let's say 261%. Yeah, it's right where I put the three. And yeah, so looking at somewhere around 80,000 as a target, right? So that's what we are currently looking at. Will it go higher than that? I don't know, but at least once the breakout happens, I mean, 80,000 is something which we are looking, for it to test, which is 20% growth, 20-25% growth from this dip. Not bad, can certainly be capitalized on. But that's the only thing that we are looking at right now. But if this becomes something bigger than that, what if this is just, a start of the next wave, and we get another dip, and then it starts to rip? So that we'll get to see once this dip starts, what kind of quality of that dip is. It's corrective or impulsive. We'll figure that out. But for now, yeah, this is the expectation that the next move is coming to 80K somewhere here. That's Bitcoin, ETH. What is it doing? I haven't checked. Yeah, very similar expectation that it's maybe making a 1-2-1-2. That okay, this was 1-2, or maybe this is still doing a corrective of. Well, this is a new low or no? No, that was not a new low. Yeah, so maybe this is still making a corrective action, but I think this is the level where it should hold, right? And once this is over, uh, then probably we should be looking at an next move. Maybe this is a level that should hold if this is a 1-2-1-2 going on right now. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this is a sub count for the wave three. It's not very clear, so we have to see if this holds or not, right, when the Bitcoin falls. So that's Ethereum. Mana was looking again very interesting. Somebody asked about it on the other day, and my opinion was that the level that needs to be tested is 13. That has been a very key level for all the bounces, and where it got rejected. So that resistance is now a support, but it kind of finds some support in the area above, basically this area, right? It's an important area as well, around 14.17, and the bounce is quite nice here. Can it be a wave four-ish where this was wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yes, but then it has to sell tomorrow, right? Which means it comes here, and then we can buy this again. Uh, what I mean is this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But if it's already gonna get into in the morning to this area and breaks out, like I said, above 19, it's bullish again, right? So we are looking at testing this and probably maybe breaking this out next time. So another good trade which can come once the 19 breakout there. So any pullback can be at 19, and if it dips, then do a DC and then let it rip. So something to keep in watch for. We haven't traded miners in quite a bit, but now I think the opportunity might be right there, right? And similarly for coin, it's been hovering over that demand zone. Probably, if there is a small dip in Bitcoin, it might touch that 196 level that I shared long ago, and has been a good level. If you want to do calls, then this will be where I would, kind of dip my toes in, right, in the 196 level area. Looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Then what did I talk about? Yeah, we have TLT calls, right, for July. So TLT, I mean, it's not confirmed that the bottom is in, so I wasn't pretty sure when I was, looking at it. Maybe there is one more dip here, and before it starts moving up, but something that we need to watch out for until it goes above 91, we probably cannot say that that the correction is over, right? It needs to make one higher high here above this, and then we can say yes, okay, at least we had one higher high, another higher low, and then we can move up, right? But when I look into the yields, they are in their own resistance zone as well. So probably the bottom is in, but I was just not sure. Once it starts breaking 4.49, we'll get to know, right? So that's what I was looking at bonds. And when it comes to dollar, again back into the resistance supply zone from where it fell last time or many times, right? And I would expect those sellers to come into the play again and send it back down towards this area, yeah, around this area, which is particularly there's around 104.30, right? So and we'll see after that what happens, right? If it's gonna start making further move up, and this is where we do the fifth wave completion for everything else, and things started to go south from there, and there is a big explosion from here, right? So we'll see what happens, but for now I think the supply will create some rejection, and we should retrace the path a little bit. So that was from the macro standpoint, and what else? Gold, let's talk about that. So gold, I've been sharing that I've been sitting bullish on this one, and we had a very nice inverse head and shoulder, breakout from 4 year or more consolidation here, right? We became bullish at 168, and we needed a 193 break, which it took some time here. And once it happened, we are just kind of moving up, and I think there will be some consolidation between 230 and the this 215 level for some time before it starts making the next leg up to 248. So if you see the lows of 214, 215, you can enter, and then if you are already not in it, right? So you can enter around 214, 215, and then look at booking at around 250 or 248. That's 161%. If it starts breaking from there, then we are looking at 272. That's gold, and let's talk about silver. There is some key resistance here. Looking at the weekly levels, 2779, it came close to it, got rejected, still trying to consolidate below it. We need to see that it doesn't break 2490. If it breaks 2490, that's not going to be good for it, and can be looked as a reversal on the weekly standpoint. But so far it's just made an inside last week, and we needed to consolidate here and slowly start breaking out from here, right? So that's another breakout which can lead to, again, I'm looking at just one A equals to C, and that's somewhere around 40, right? So once above 28, there is a breakout, can reach to 48. So you can look at the consolidation here. As long as it's consolidating above this area above 25, I think it's pretty bullish. So that, I think, pretty much covers what I had in the post. Do you guys have any question or want me to cover something? Yeah, you can just share. Is it clear to everybody what I've talked about? Just want to make sure. We did not cover AMD. Let's look at AMD. I haven't even checked it. Let's see what the weekly looks like. So this dip wasn't the a good dip, to be honest with you, on AMD. I mean, the next level of interest would be here on 133. It came down way too below, our expectation. I think we were looking at 176, 175 to hold, and then 184, stayed as resistance. But the problem here is that this wave is not very clear. What has gone in here. So I can look at probably that this was a wave, one, all of this whole move, and this is wave two. But if 132 or this level is holding, then we'll talk about if this is going to be a very long bullish move, which I don't think it can be. If Nvidia is gonna make up the top, is AMD gonna come into the focus, because this really did not rally as much as Nvidia or any other SMCI or any other stock rallied. This they did make a new high, but again, the wave was very overlapping and choppy and all that, right? So is it making like a 1-2-1-2? I don't know, but I wouldn't be making any bullish bet unless I see what happens at 132. If it starts reversing, and we have an idea on overall market as well, that are we heading higher, maybe we'll look at this. But otherwise, I wouldn't be making any bullish call on AMD anymore with this dip on Friday and Thursday and Friday, actually. My critical levels were this 163, and that did not hold. Yeah. So yeah, something which we'll have to see, Dave. I'm not sure if you're holding something or not, but I think this is not looking good for now. All right. Anything else? All right then. I think that is it for today, and I'll see you guys in the morning. There has been a drop in the futures. Let's see. See you tomorrow. Yeah, saying already. We'll have a dip, and it'll move. Yeah, let's see where the futures are in the morning. But so far, just doing what we expected to do. And yeah, we'll catch up in the morning. Thank you. Bye bye.